Since time began, we found ways to settle our differences.
This town ain't big enough for the both of us.
What?
You heard.
Looks pretty darn spacious to me.
There ain't nothing but space.
But today, we don't shoot it out, we bet it out.
Great draw, great jockey. No, man, this one shoots out the gate.
Bet it out with Betcha. R18, bet responsibly.
Jordan Watson, How to Dad, welcome to my podcast.
I want you to do, you know how you pre-record the amazing intros that blow smoke up our ass? I want you to do that in front of me, mate. I thought I could maybe go for that today.
I can't do it in front of you because, can I let you in on a secret from podcaster to podcaster?
Okay.
There's this AI tool called Podium that you can subscribe to, and you load in your audio, like an hour worth of podcast audio or whatever. 10 minutes later, it gives you suggested podcast titles for that episode. It gives you chapter summaries. It gives you an intro.
Serious?
And the intro is like, you know, if I see someone else has used it, I can tell. It's like, oh, you've been on Podium. So you do need to sort of rewrite it yourself.
Yeah, tweak it, but it gives you a bit
gives
of a
you the bones of it. It takes so much work out of it.
So it's
Podium.
all a lie. It's all the whole thing's.
Yeah. So I said, this is a really compelling episode. You guys are going to love this one. You may not. You're a podcaster now. You've got the Parenting Hangover with Clint Roberts.
Yeah, trying to diversify. No, Clint came to me. We were chatting about it like a year ago. I think we've just hit a year. We have a weekly little podcast, the Parenting Hangover, just for. Weirdly, it's for parents, right, to check in and just be able to vent and listen, and like we go through the exact same stuff, poop leaking out of nappies and all that stuff. And then Clint will go and DJ like at Mount Maunganui at some bar, and it says he's got like 20-year-old chicks going, not recognizing him from radio, being like, "Hey, are you the guy from the Parenting Hangover?" Like we get recognized all the time, right? But if ever you get recognized for the Parenting Hangover, your podcast, you're like, whoa, you feel like you're the very first time being recognized ever again.
That's
like,
really,
seriously?
it's really cool, especially if it's some work that you're particularly proud of. So Clint Roberts, he's a dad of 2 girls. You've got 3 girls?
I've got 3 girls.
Yeah. He's a good dude. I've known him. I first met him when he graduated radio school and was an intern at The Edge. And he was like 20, 21 at the time. And he was at that age where... he's a big dude. He's like you and I, 6 foot something. And he was at that age where had constantly, you'd be at the photocopier and had just come and tackle you. And I was in my mid-30s. I was like, I was beyond the age of being tackled by some fucking kid. But he's grown up to be a fine man. I love him.
Yeah, he's all right. He's good. He's good. He's good value. We're plugging away. We're not as bloody big and successful as you, mate. But we're trying.
Oh, thanks, bro. It's a grind. Although you are, with everything else you've done, so Jordan Watson, maybe better known as How to Dad, 1.4 million YouTube.
Wait, 100% better known as How to Dad. When people find out I have a real name and my first name isn't How, they freak out. Like, I remember I hid my name for so long, and then one day, I think my wife or someone says it in a video, "Oh, Jordan," and just the comments are like, "Your name's Jordan? I didn't think you'd be a Jordan. Is your name Jordan? It can't be." Blah, 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 and all this crap. So I'm like, oh gosh, nah. First name How. I'm Chinese.
1.4 million YouTube. Is this more subscribers than any other YouTuber in New Zealand?
No.
Okay.
There are some big YouTubers that are really unknown to New Zealanders because they're huge in America, like some gaming people. I think there's a couple Kiwis knocking on like 10 million subscribers.
Oh, they just do like live streaming of games or things?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. But up there's another few big ones, but up there in the top 10.
Yeah, it's amazing. As someone that's like signed up to YouTube 18 months ago and has put like an episode up every week since then and is just on the door of 6,000 followers.
Yeah.
It's for most of us, it's a slow build.
It is a slow build, and it's changed lately, and that's the social media game constantly. But back in my day, everyone's posting wide screen, 16 by 9. That's all we posted online. And then everything on Facebook turned to like a square for a little bit. You're like, hang on, you want me to make square videos now? And now it's vertical videos. And to get to 1 million subscribers when I started was like every YouTuber could appreciate the grind to get there. And now that they've created YouTube Shorts, which is like TikTok on YouTube, there's kids there punching stuff out 3 videos a day, and they're just getting 1 million subscribers in like 3 months. Just boom. And all us OG YouTubers like, hang on, do you know how long it took to curate these big widescreen videos and to make sure everything was good? And
You kids haven't even paid your dues.
I know, I'm old, mate. I'm old. I'll go to these social media agency conference things, and I get welcomed up as like one of the originals. And I don't feel that old. But
Yeah, I had Louis Davis round for a podcast last weekend.
Yes,
I think he called you like the matua. The
yeah.
matua of content creation.
He's the new young hip generation. Even though he's a dad, he's hip. I ain't hip.
Yeah, I don't know. Other platforms, 700,000 Instagram followers, 921,000 on TikTok, which I think's amazing because that's sort of the new kid on the block when it comes to social media, and you're almost on 1 million. And 2.6 million Facebook followers.
Yeah, it's
insane.
Yeah, it's nuts. And it's just been one of those slow growing things. And then I fought TikTok for so long. Like, no, I'm not starting a TikTok, I'm not starting a TikTok. And then my videos were getting stolen and someone was uploading them. And the only way you can argue it is when you go on to, you need to have a page and you need to say that I'm the actual how to dad guy and this person's stealing my videos. So then I started one to challenge this other person. And I thought, I'll just start posting some of my other videos there. My old videos, like the whole back catalogue. This is a whole new audience, TikTok, that's never seen my stuff. And that's been the game plan. And it's working. And it's almost up to 1 million.
So you have to constantly keep evolving depending on what the algorithms...
Yeah, man, I'm old and grumpy about it, and I fought it. Oh, seriously,
You're a boomer.
I had a contact at Facebook, and she's like, basically, you could feel her rage. She just wants to slap me through the screen. Like, all of a sudden, this is 3 years ago. Jordan, you need to start making square videos if you want to see your videos get pushed out. And we need them to now, to be able to monetize them, like they did the YouTube thing. All of a sudden, they turned on monetization. Like, you need to be making them 3 minutes long. And I'm like, mate, everyone knows me as making like 60-second, short form, give you a quick laugh, parenting videos. I'm not going to change just to be paid now and start. Like 3 minutes is a long time to watch a guy with, yeah, g'day, welcome to this instructional video on how to do this. And I fought it for so long, and then I realized some other Kiwi creators are like, bro, you just stick your last week's video on the end of this week's video, and that gets you 3 minutes.
Oh, that's a good little hack.
They're the biggest guys in New Zealand. A plug, if you might want to get them in, Viva La Dirt League. They make gaming videos. They're not streamers. They make comical gaming videos, and they are a machine. You think your lights are fancy? They did a Kickstarter like a year ago with their fans, and they fundraised like $1 million and bought a whole studio. They are huge. They got like 6 million subscribers on YouTube. They're just creaming it.
That's the one of the many cool things about this world we're living in now, that you can have these content creators that I'd like to think I've got my ear to the ground, but I've never heard of these people you're talking about. They all have these massive communities. Whereas back when I was coming through, more so, but also you, there was like a couple of people in TV networks that made all the decisions. Hey, or radio programmers. They'd decide if you make the cut or you don't. Now it's like, put your hat in the ring, have a go.
100%. There's so many platforms now.
Yeah.
And we I'll go across to these social media things, and there's all these Kiwi kids coming up, and I've got 2 million on TikTok. I'm like, I've never heard of you. And I start to feel out of date, but I'm still around. I'm still kicking it. I'm still giving it a crack.
Oh, bro, you're doing great. So what is where are your followers from? Like, what sort of percentages from NZ?
Largest followings America, and some of the How to Dad kicked off back in 2016, and it was funny to see some of the original comments, and it made sense that I was getting followers from America because they thought my whole shtick is sticking and wearing stubbies and a bush shirt. And they thought they don't have stubbies. So they thought I'm just a weird dad wearing my boxer shorts and putting videos out online with my kid, and I'm just in like my pajamas. And I'm running around stores and outside New Zealand in my undies. And so they're following because they're just intrigued, like, why is this guy in his undies making all these videos? But USA by far is the biggest, then Australia, and then New Zealand. And that just goes down to country size.
Yeah, for sure, population size. But how, so you live in Papamoa,
Yep.
in the Bay of Plenty. Do you get recognised much? You hear people whispering if you go to Bay Fair, or?
Yeah, you have the exact same thing. It's that my wife hears it more because I'm like one of those leader dads, the classic dad in the airport, or if you need to go somewhere, the dad's at the front and the rest have to follow. Like, I'm getting you there. So I'm always at the front of the family, and I don't hear it because classic Kiwis will just keep quiet and you'll look like this at the person that you see, and then it's behind them. Like, is that the guy? And we'll get somewhere and my wife will be like, geez, you're getting noticed hard out today. I'm like, yep. I don't know.
Completely oblivious to
I
it.
don't notice, am I?
But I'm just worried about getting to the gate.
When we first moved to Papamoa, it was funny. because I'd lived in Auckland so long, and Aucklanders don't care. Before Papa Mile, I was up in Auckland for 10 years. And Aucklanders don't really care if you see a famous person. I think everyone's a bit more used to it. But down there, I'm in this little beachside, not a little, but beachside town, and the whispers were loud. Like when I first moved there, I was like, geez, I haven't been used to this. And what's this? And stairs and how to dad and all this. And now they're used to it. I'm part of the community. It's great. They see me running down the camera with a camera and I'm being an idiot on the street, and people just leave me now. They don't annoy me. They don't toot the horn because they know they'll stuff the clip. So they're like, shit, he's filming. Just leave him. Just leave him.
Yeah. So you've been working as an independent. You gave up your 9 to 5. How many years ago now?
2017 is when I went full time with just doing how to dad stuff. Yeah.
Fuck, that must have been terrifying at the time. But you've been doing it ever since then. So what does an average day look like? Do you schedule it? You get up and...
Like any Instagrammer, my chef cooks me a beautiful breakfast. I do cold water immersion for 4 hours. I get beautiful golden sun. I'm a busy day. I don't schedule. I've come across Terrell. He's another creator. And he asked me recently at a thing, what's your schedule looking like? I was like, what schedule? He's like, your content schedule. You got your videos planned out? Yep. No, I've never been that. I constantly chase that, but I'm not that person where... I don't have a planned, structured video plan. I'm not like, oh, great, I've got... Like right now, I have no videos in the bank. No new videos filmed, ready to go. I'm a wake up, if something awesome pops in my head that week, anything else I had planned is out the window. I get so passionate, I jump onto that. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to do that. So I can't do that. Cancel that. I'm going to go shoot this thing. It's going to be great. Do it, post it. Sometimes it's not great. Sometimes it is. But most of my day now is... getting up and editing content. I've got a Jandal brand, working on the Jandal brand, or editing for the podcast. It's a lot of sitting at your desk.
Yeah.
It ain't as much running around and filming as I want it to be. But to make it viable, like I said, Facebook now, like YouTube, you can monetize. And so the cool thing with Facebook is constantly the audience is growing. So this whole audience has, unlike YouTube, which has an awesome back catalog set up, right? If you go to anyone's YouTube page, you can really easily see all their old videos. Facebook's hard. If you click on something, they don't really have that. And so I clicked on a few years ago, you got all these new followers that haven't seen your back catalog from How to Hold a Baby, your first video you ever did. So now and then I'm repurposing and resharing old clips. They're all earning some dollars if they jump on and catch fire again. It weirdly, I'm going to gloat right now, but I just realized my second oldest video, how to teach a baby to walk, and I've got my kid, and this is back from 2006. It looks like I filmed it on a potato. I realized I hadn't ever reshared it. In the 8 years of resharing content, I had never ever reshared it. So I made it into a vertical just yesterday, put the captions on, because that's what we all need to do now, captions and make it vertical, posted it. It's my biggest video ever. On Instagram right now, it's growing like 1 million views every couple hours. I think it's up to 20 million views. I just posted it yesterday.
Unreal.
And that's on Instagram. So usually one platform will do well and it'll bomb everywhere else. But TikTok, it's going real big. Facebook, it bombed. But that's the other hardest. I'm rambling now and ranting, but that's the other hardest thing where you'll get these arguments from these social media platforms, because we'll always say, hey, why is my video bombed on your thing? Like, why is it not pushed out? And they go, hey, good content is good content, and it'll always do good if it's good content. My argument is, how does something get 20 million views on Instagram and then 1,000 on Facebook, the exact same video? Or, it changes week to week. So you're constantly chasing, and every creator can relate to this, you're constantly trying to figure out what is successful, like what do people want? But it's hard to figure out when every platform is performing different. On
There's no sort of uniform thing. What is it? Just different audiences on the different platforms?
I don't know. I have no idea. The audiences for me are all pretty similar.
Yeah, Facebook and Meta, it's the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
Facebook and Instagram, I mean, yeah.
YouTube, so you're constantly just kind of in a hamster wheel, like, well, that one did mean, and then, just check YouTube, it must be good there. Oh, well, I got 800 views on YouTube. Cool. So maybe it wasn't good.
Do you fixate on that now, or was there a time that you fixated on it?
You go up and down. For me, I've been doing it for so many years, but you definitely have moments where you're like, shit, I need to completely change. Things aren't working. And then you kind of relax again. And I think it's when you relax and chill out a bit and just do stuff. I'm lucky that I'm at the point now where I don't have to hustle as much. Like I'm not trying to be like, I have to grow, I have to get big. That I can just make stuff that I find funny now. Yeah. Like a lot of people that click through into my stuff now are like, oh, he doesn't even have kids in it. And it's working because I'm just doing the things that I find funny now.
Yeah. I want to talk about that and when that pivot from being the how-to guy to where you are now changed and how big that decision was. There's so much to unpack with you. We'll go all the way back though, right?
This is real. You want to talk about this?
Hey,
This is some people say it's a wig,
Is it?
so we'll just get that in case viewers are thinking it's real.
No, it's fabulous.
I haven't been
yeah.
to Turkey. I haven't got the plugs done.
Okay, so Jordan pre-internet fame. Who was he? Funny guy, sensitive guy, deep thinker.
How old? Where am I? Give me an age.
Now where are you from? You're from that town where the guy won Lotto.
Yeah, Te Kauwhata.
Yeah, Te Kauwhata. Yeah, where Trev won like 20 million in Lotto. And
Yeah, he wasn't a true Te Kauwhatian.
Yeah.
He, I think he'd come later in life. So everyone's like, did you know Trev? He worked at the local stores. Not a lot of us knew him. Some people did. But I think he blew it all.
he blew it all. Like on I think like NASCARs and things like
We're
that.
also famous for David Bain when he was released from prison. There was Joe
Karam's
Joe
house.
Karam lived in the outskirts of Te Kauwhata. So somehow there was a connection to the town, even though Bain's not from there. And I don't know what happened, but the side of the Foursquare, someone's decided, let's spray paint a big mural. Welcome home, Bain. And I remember visiting my town. I'm like, who signed this off? He's not even from here. And it's pretty controversial. We don't know, okay? It's pretty 50-50 on that one.
What a town. How to blow Lotto winnings. How to get away with murder.
How to get away with murder. Erin Simpson.
Erin Simpson.
She's great. She's from Te Kauwhata. I don't think we've got any other.
Erin
big
Simpson.
names
How to
to
Marry
find.
the Bachelor.
Yeah,
That'll do.
Bachelor.
So you're from sort of the broader Waikato area. So your dad's an eel fisherman. Is that his hobby or his job?
No, that's his job.
How is that lucrative?
There are 2 eel factories in the whole of New Zealand. One of them happens to be in Te Kauwhata. His dad was an eel fisherman. You catch the eels, you sort the eels, you take them to the eel factory, they pay you money. And then those eels most of them get exported overseas, frozen and then exported overseas, or some live exports. I worked at the eel factory for a time as a 15-year-old, 16-year-old, scooping up dead eels and doing eel stuff. But I grew up with an old man that...
Doing eel stuff.
Yeah, I grew up with an old man that was an eel fisherman, and you'd go to school some mornings and you'd smell a bit because you were helping Dad that morning.
Right. And then you moved to Morrinsville, or you just do your schooling in Morrinsville?
My parents split up when I was 8, and then I kind of jumped between. So my mum went and lived in Morrinsville, Dad stayed in Te Kauwhata, and I jumped growing up back and forth between them.
Right. So your teachers are old classmates at Morrinsville. What would they say about you at the time?
Oh, just tall, dark, handsome, great guy. I had the same thing in every report where it's just, Jordan needs to apply himself. Jordan's doing really well. If he'd stop talking, just a bit of class clown mentality.
Oh, so you always had that sort of humour streak.
Yeah,
Like to get the laughs.
Yeah. Being
Yeah.
a bit of a idiot in class.
And then what did you want to do in school? Like in terms of a career?
I was parents were not pushing me. I didn't have parents that were like, you need to go here and do this. Just both hands off. And I remember being sixth form and just thinking, I'm going to be a cop. But I'm going to go to Aussie and be a cop because Aussies can carry guns. That was how immature my brain was. And then I've moved up to Auckland and you hear about mates that went, I went to King's College and at 16 I already knew that I was going to do this. And my dad never told me that. I was like, bro, I was an immature rural New Zealand kid who had no idea. And then I finished 7th form and I was lucky enough to talk to the careers teacher, Miss Thomas, shout out. And she said, look, you've always had the gift of the gab. Why don't you go and do a radio course? I was like, oh yeah. And so just over the Kaimais, so Morrinsville, just over the Kaimai Ranges is Bay of Plenty Polytech, and they had a 6-month certificate in radio. I was not keen at all. And then a mate of mine said, I'm going over to Bay of Plenty Polytech to do a sports certificate, 6 months. So, okay, I'm doing the radio. We're going to flat together. This is going to be great. And so I went and did that and met my lovely now wife.
Yeah, Jodie.
Yeah.
You said the story goes that you were you didn't know what you wanted to do, and then someone went around the radio school and said to Jodie, what does she want to do? And she said something about moving to Auckland. So you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to move to Auckland too.
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah. Again, rural boys just head over heels with the school, move over to the big smoke of Tauranga, see Jodie, fall 18-year-old puppy in love with Jodie. We start dating. And then, an interviewer comes towards the end of the school from Christchurch Broadcasting School comes up to ask who wants to come and do the degree if you want to continue. And so we all sit down. And I'm being part Māori, so they've instantly fallen in love. Like, you're a big tick. You're a tick in the Christchurch Broadcasting School's box. diversify. This is fantastic. And I was smart. Okay, I had NCA level 1, 2, and 3. Like I ticked everything. And so they're like, Jordan, you're in. Jodie comes out of the interview crying. I'm like, what's up? And she's like, I never did level 3. I never got level 3. So they said I can't come. I was like, don't worry, it'll be all right. And 2 days later, she's like, I'm going to now go up to Auckland, and I'm going to go and do some film school stuff. I was like, yeah, me too. Yep, totally. So, because at that time I did this radio course and got right into it. And my dream was I'm going to be Neil Walker. Why do I have these weird, just like 16-year-old wants to be a Aussie cop with a gun, and I really visualize it. Now I'm visualizing I want to be Neil Walker. He was the newsreader at the time.
Yeah, like the Mike McRoberts.
Yeah, he was Mike McRoberts before Mike McRoberts, potentially.
Yeah, around about the same time, Clint Brown was a big sports presenter as well.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm going to read the 6 o'clock news. That was my dream, to go down to Christchurch, do this 3-year degree. And so we joke now that every time we see Jack Tame, because he's around our same age, I'm like, that could have been me, babe.
I reckon you're having way more fun than
Super
Jack Tame.
successful Jack Tame. I was like, that could have been me.
Yeah.
I could have been Jack Tame, high grilling politicians and stuff. But no, followed her up to Auckland. We'd been dating like 3 months, and I've just thrown everything away to say, no, I'll come up to Auckland. I'll do film school with you. And she was like, cool. And we were flatting together within 3 months of dating, lived together, and we've been together ever since.
Was it sort of love at first sight? Or infatuation at first sight?
Infatuation for me, yeah, 100%. Throwing it back to her at the time, she's like, oh. I think I remember saying I love you, and she's just like, oh. Just that awkward hug. It didn't put me down. I was still like,
I don't know if you were serious or just doing this self-deprecating thing.
No, I'm 100%. I was head over heels. No, this is a true story. And she joked that, we'll go through the alphabet. I'm not quite at L. And she said, A, B, C, D, F, G, H. She was like, I jove you. I was like, what's that? She's like, I'm not quite at love yet. I'm there. And it didn't put me off. I was like, all right.
Okay, cool. That's only 2 letters away.
I'm going to hang about. I was driving this. I had a lowered Mitsubishi L200 Ute. And I was like, as long as I keep getting here and taking on drives with my cool Ute, I'll get there.
It's funny when you're... Oh, that's really cute. That's really cute. And I think anyone that's like not icked out completely by the I love you thing and is playing like an alphabet game, which I've never heard of before, but it's really cute.
Try that one. Yeah, she did that on me, and it worked. I hung about.
Kept you in the game. And then, so did you do the same course with her? So you did more study in Auckland?
Yeah, so she goes, I'm going up to Auckland. Again, I was clueless, bro. I went to a rural school where they didn't even have media studies. I'd never held a camera. And you go up to this, it was called South Seas Film School. And they're like, what do you want to major in? I was like, well, I did the radio thing. I kind of want to be Neil Walker. So I was like, I'm going to major in TV presenting. And in the audition, I remember the interview to get into the school, I remember them saying, yeah, you can major in TV presenting. And then the whole course starts. And on the first day, me and Jodie are looking at each other because both of us wanted to do the presenting. And in the first meeting of the first day, they're like, so here's the majors you can do. Documentary directing, drama directing, camera, lighting and audio, editing, and acting. And we're both like, where's the presenting? We've come up here to do presenting. They're, oh, no, that's just a minor. That's just an evening thing that you might do half an hour a week. So then just like out of a hat, I was just like, oh, I'll do that. And I did documentary directing for a year, which isn't like you learn how to become a documentary director. Not at all. You kind of learn the basics of holding a camera, kind of trying to structure a story. And I was bad. I was going out and still immature, man. Like shooting, like they want you to make a serious documentary. I went out, you had to find a business and go and film the backstory of this business. And Drury Tyres, we all know Drury Tyres on South Auckland as you leave the city. Drury Tyres, very famous. And I went along to film their life story and I took a presenter mate with me. And the whole thing is just me doing joke. Like I'm the director, but my poor presenter is like, and then Drury Tyres was established and things started to roll along, and he rolls a tyre, and then we just cut to a tyre. And it's just constant tyre gags after tyre gags. I remember getting sat down and being told, Jordan, you need to pull your socks up. This is a serious school. But I think...
It sounds very crowd goes wild, eh?
Yeah, but I also think just being a clown and having fun with it was me, like my comfort blanket, because I'm just there with all these people talking about, bro, have you seen Pulp Fiction? I love this and this. And I wasn't a film buff. And back, I was like, what the hell's Pulp Fiction, bro? I've seen Gladiator, and that's my favorite movie. I don't know film history, but I'm surrounded by people that were huge into TV, film, like they were passionate about it. And I'd kind of just rocked up because I followed this chick that I liked.
Yeah.
And so I had to, then I started to try and be more serious with it. But
When you look back now with what you're doing now, has this been helpful at all? The stuff that you learned?
Yeah, 100%. Because that then carried on until I was working behind the scenes in TV shows, building props and stuff, and constantly looking over people's shoulders and, is that how they edit? Oh, okay. Oh, and that's how you're meant to hold the camera, and that's how you do that. So all those things helped me then figure out. Yeah,
it was a very long apprenticeship. Yeah, so you did that course, then you're working on Eating Media Lunch with Jeremy Wells?
Yeah, well, you've done your research. Yes.
That was a great show. A lot of people listening to this or watching this won't even remember that, but that was brilliant.
It's a great series, and I remember the interview. What I keep saying audition, and they had planned it as a gag, and I'd never met anyone famous at this stage. So I'm 18. I finished my film school. I think I'm still 18 or 19, and I go and sit down at the Eating Media Lunch office, and Claire Logan, a famous producer, she's interviewing me. And afterwards, once I got the job, they told me that they'd pre-planned it. But slowly, more and more people just started to sit at the table, and they wouldn't say anything. They'd just look at you. And then Jeremy Wells comes and joins the table, and I'm still just looking at Claire answering all the questions. And they said the only thing that got me the job is they had the black caps playing on the screen in the background. And I just note, we're doing all right at the cricket. And I carried on. And they're all massive cricket buffs, all the guys that work there.
Yeah.
And they said, it was between you and a younger, attractive chick, but we chose you because you love cricket.
That's amazing. So the staff members coming in and out during the interview, was there any cameras there or anything?
No. It was
just like an internal joke.
It was an internal joke. Like when we start interviewing, everyone just come join the table. There's only like 6 or 7 of them, but by the end,
it's still very off-putting.
Oh yeah, but I had that kind of gift of the gab confidence where it didn't freak me out too much, and you just
roll with it.
They just wanted to know it was that kind of rural upbringing. They just wanted to know if we ask you to do something, like help us make something or build something, can you do that? I was like, yeah. MacGyver, mate, chuck me a bit of duct tape. I'll just winging it. I'm just bullshitting, but yeah. And then I slowly got to be known as someone who could do that.
Just like number 8 wire sort of mentality.
Yeah, but it's a funny way to explain it where, again, being from rural New Zealand, moved up to Auckland, massive slap in the face on like the cost of coffees. My first day there, everyone buying their lunches. I went in with a lunchbox on my first day. I'm like, what? You all buy your lunch every day? So then like people going out, stopping at 9 a.m. to go get coffees and more food. And I'm like, this is nuts. People were getting married at like over 30. I remember going home and talking to Jodie, being like, there's people there, they've been engaged since they were, they're not married. Like where I grew up, if you were 22 and didn't have 2 kids, something was wrong with you. Like if you weren't married with 2 kids. And so to them, when I got my first project with Eating Me Lunch, and they're like, we want you to do this. So I had to make these fake mower feet or some kind of prop, and I pulled it off. And they're like, holy shit, this guy's amazing. I'll go back and tell my dad and my older brother these stories, and they're like, and they know they're another level of me, right? They're the kind of guys that their boat could be sinking out at sea, and you give them a piece of chewing gum, they will save everyone. Like they're the guys that can just fix anything. I'm not that level at all, but I'm going to them up there. I'm fucking awesome.
I'm the man.
Like they think I'm amazing. And my dad and brother just like, this is a joke. You are useless. You are useless. So it was great. And I kind of, that went around, and I jumped onto a few other jobs in that kind of realm of just, Jordan, get Jordan on. He'll figure it out.
And then you ended up, 'cause I think we first met when you were on, I was going to say John and Ben, but it may have even been Wanna Ben. Because there was a couple of shows before those two got together. There was the Jono Project.
Yeah, it's Jono Project and Wanna Ben. And then they combined. But yeah, I was on Wanna Ben and Let's Get Inventing, which was the kids' show. Awesome show.
My mate Clint Randall, he was the host of that.
Yeah. I know Clint. Back when I was helping plan stuff and do props, Clint was the host.
Yeah. Oh, small world.
Small world, man.
So Wanna Ben. Oh, yeah, Wanna Ben. That's right.
Wanna Ben, random skits and sketches, and then that all went into John and Ben.
Well, Wanna Ben doesn't get credit for this, and Ben Boyce will be very, very pleased, but he just gets put under the John and Ben umbrella. But the pilot sketch.
Wanna Ben was a standalone. It was the pilot sketch of John and Ben. Wanna Ben.
No, was that Wanna Ben, or was that John and Ben? I'm sure that was Wanna Ben.
Yeah, it was Wanna Ben.
Yeah.
Wanna Ben was before Jono and Ben.
Yeah.
We're confusing people a lot with all these Bens and Bens and Bens. But Jono had the Jono Project, Ben had Wanna Ben. And Wanna Ben was full of sketches and things that you see on Jono and Ben.
And it was Wanna Ben that did the pilot sketch.
I don't know if they did it. Oh, the pilot. Oh, I see. I thought you meant the pilot the pilot one where we got in trouble.
Yeah, just before the 2011 Rugby World Cup. Were you there then?
I put the costume together.
Did you go to jail?
No.
Do
It's the
you
worst
want to tell the
day.
story? Sorry, a lot of people won't be familiar or won't remember what we're talking about. It's 13
We
years
can talk about it now. Ben Boyce is a TV personality, had a show called Wanna Ben, and there was a segment called, everyone gets confused and think it was Ben. It was actually Bryce Casey. Bryce had a bit part on the show called it was saying like Smuggling Bryce. I can't remember the name, but every week he'd try and get himself into something, like not illegally, but let's say the cinema. He just walked up to the cinema with a ladder and he'd go in and watch the movie because he had a ladder, or he wore a Toy Story costume, he'd get in somewhere. And then someone in a planning meeting just had the idea, let's get him through customs at an airport. And no one flagged it. So like no one said, shit, let's not do this. So I just get a thing across my desk, Jordan, by the way, can you just find a costume? And there was a costume shop down the road. Can you put together? And I remember going, I was like, we need to dress a pilot. So I need like pants and a shirt with the little things. And we'll put some things here. And I remember sticking like a printed out just on A4 paper, like an emblem, and like glue stick that on the hat. Bryce has tats up his arm and everything. And he strolls into the airport. And we had a dodgy Toyota Hiace black spray painted van at that stage. I didn't go on the shoot. But so the crew's already hopped out this weird van. They've probably already been under surveillance as soon as this van showed up. But Bryce is walking around and almost gets through, but gets turned away. And that's it. And then within the time that the guys carried on, went off and went filming, they didn't think anything bad had happened. It broke. The news story broke that a fake pilot has tried to go through customs, and it hit all the news. And then everyone in the office just feels sick to their gut. Ben's freaking out, and everyone was just waiting, who's going to get done here? And it ended up being like 4 or 5 of the crew had to go to court. And I wasn't one of the guy who put the costume. I was saved. I was still young and innocent, mate. I was only like 19. I didn't know. They just told me.
Yeah.
I never have to talk about it whatsoever. I has nothing to do with it.
I know Ben reasonably well, and I feel like it sort of changed him as a person in a lot of ways. Like he became very, very cautious after that.
Yeah, 100%. He'd probably agree. But 100% it did. 100%.
Yeah, that was huge. I remember I was working at the Edge at the time, and The Rock was right next door to us, and it was the whole front page of the New Zealand Herald, like CCTV footage of Bryce. And
it was like, I'm pretty sure there was like do you know this man? Or they were trying to find out who it was, and then we all had to go forward. But when you look back now, you're like, how no executive producer
flagged,
which are like the bosses, right? Like you are the writers, the dumb writers, idiot writers who come up with stupid gags. Then you've got your producer, who's like the boss in the office. Then you have an executive producer. And no one's gone, don't know about this one.
Yeah, it's so funny when you look back. And Prime Minister John Key at the time, like he waged it. I think there was an extra big deal because it was the year of the Rugby World Cup. Yeah, so they didn't want any sort of terrorism.
It would have made international. There would have been some Australian stories on it, but small world, man. Yeah.
So then, so you work for, I think we met during that time, or maybe during John on Ben.
John on Ben you would have been a bit part celebrity that we scraped the barrel. We couldn't find anyone, so there's Dom Harvey, and we got you, mate, and we put you on a sketch. Don't worry, mate. I get it all the time now. When all of a sudden I'll get a last minute call. Hey, can you come onto this thing? Have you tried everyone else? And you're down to the Z grade celebrities. I'm here.
Yeah. So you were there for years. So it's like building sets, just being like what was your job exactly?
What was I called? Production coordinator.
Yeah.
And it was like, building stuff, making stuff, painting stuff, trying to make. Like if they had a crazy idea where we need to have a rocket land on a moon for the sketch, I'll be like trying to make small things, nothing massive. Then you had external props people that would do the big crazy things, like huge sets. But mine was small day to day. It was an insane show to work on. Like people forget how busy they were. A topical show, just pumping out sketches every week. It'll be last minute things. Like if you've tripped over and it made the front news and we're going to air that day, shit, it's the biggest story. We have to do is quickly make a sketch and make stuff. And behind the scenes, just helping organise stuff. So they wanted to film a rugby sketch and they needed someone in a tackle bag prop. We'd help figure out how to put someone in a tackle bag. We'd help find the location, make sure the location knows, try and get the location for free. A lot of hustling, which I think helps now as well. A lot of hustling stuff for free, which is how us Instagrammers live from week to week.
Yeah, well, it's if you're not used to hustling, no can be quite a confrontational word. But after a while, you get used to no. If you've lived the hustler's life.
Well, I had the real. awesome hustlers gig. I worked on Let's Get Inventing, which is a kids' TV show. So we'd ring up anyone, and we'd then finish with, "Can you please donate this for free? We'll give you a credit in the show. It's for the kids. It's a kids' TV show." And 99% of the time, it was a yes. And then you jump to like a John, and straight away you say John on Ben, and there's people that eye roll on the other end of the phone, and they're like, "No." Like, hang up.
Yeah,
We've got no budget and we need a Holden Commodore for a sketch. Can you lend it to us?
Yeah. Well, can we have stationery? Can we have like 1 million post-it notes?
But it was an awesome, cool time, and slowly just climbed the ranks there at John on Ben. I was lucky. TV is hard because the gigs are short, so you get like a 3-month contract and then you could be out of work. I had that plenty of times. And then if you landed John on Ben, it was like the golden ticket because they were just year long, just on every week. It was a full, and then let's say they went off for 3 months or 4 months of the year. Let's Get Inventing would start up, and then I'd jump over to that show. So I was lucky for like 3 or 4 years there. I was fully employed. And John on Ben, there's some awesome times, man. Like they took me to Europe. Like they went to Europe and they're like, "We need another cameraman." And at that time I couldn't even white balance, like simple things on a camera. And they're like, "Jordan, you'll come because you can help sort things and be cameraman." Some of my footage was terrible.
Amazing.
I got back and felt so bad. They're having heated discussions about why'd no one get this shot, and then they have to almost shut up because we sent Jordan to be the cameraman, and he wasn't a cameraman.
Right.
But I went to Europe, baby.
Yeah, suckers. That's cool. What a cool experience. Was there a part of you during that time though? That was sitting there filming, making stuff, thinking, "Fuck, I could do funnier than this. I could do better than this."
No,
you know, like sort of a
yeah, I get you, but not at that time. Like you always loved the idea. Like you got excited when they're like, "Hey, we need someone. Can you jump in?" That only happened like twice. That I was actually in a sketch. This is before How to Dag was anything, and you're like, "Oh, cool, wow, this is what I." But you were kind of so caught up with how busy the show was. There was no time to think of your own stuff. Always like I had a few like business ideas at that younger age, but nothing was ever to do with TV or being in front of a limelight. It was like a competitor to trade me idea that I did nothing with. And I talked to my wife and made a website for ages, tried to. And then another one about filming old people's stories. I had this idea. Like I always had these.
Oh yeah, Memoirs of a Geezer. Yeah.
Wow. How do you know that? Memoirs of a Geezer. Again, What an idiot pun line. No wonder no one took it seriously. I named this amazing idea because when I tell it to people now, they're like, "That is so cool." I'm like, "Yeah, no, I named it Memoirs of a Geezer and got no jobs."
Yeah, because it's cool. Like it's the idea itself is basically like basically a podcast with someone that's maybe their life is running out. It's sort of like a keepsake for the family, right? But you've given it a goofy name.
I know. And then I quickly tried to change it to Your Memoirs. But then I was again young, no money to put into it. I think I printed off some A5 flyers and I went to like the richest suburbs in Auckland and put one in every letterbox. And I think I got one email. So I gave up on it. I was like, I've just delivered like 200 to 200 people. I got one email. I'm out. But lucky enough, because I needed content like for the website, I did one with my nan, who's now passed away. I did one with my wife's father, who's now passed away. And I did one with my grandma, who's still kicking. But like my wife's family, the day their dad passed away, they're like straight away, "Where's the thing, Jordan? Can you send it?" And they all sat down and watched it, which I haven't explained. It's you sit down with like a grandparent is the whole idea. And I capture their whole story. Like, where were you born, blah, blah, blah. And I get as many photos as I can from all family. And then you make it into like a 20, 30 or an hour little documentary, basically. And then you've got that forever. And it was such a great idea. When you tell that to people, they're like, "Wow, this is great." But it's hard to sell. That was the problem because the person's not going to buy it for themselves, the grandparent. And then you've got to, it's not cheap. So then you've got to try and convince all their kids, if they've got kids, to put money in. And it's just messy to get done. But what I suggest down the barrel, I don't know what camera's on me, but my thing, and I've done a video on this and it went well, is get an iPhone. You don't have to do it fancy. Sit down with your grandparent and have a yarn and just film it. Sit down for an hour with them and have a yarn and you've got it forever.
You do it yourself. Although if there was a professional business like that for rich families, that'd be good. Because what you're sounding is you're talking like having B-roll in there and all sorts of bits and pieces.
I had, so this is after I've done film school. I'm working at John on Ben. I've invested in my own camera, which was a big deal, a Canon 60D and a tripod. And I did get one job. The guy that hired me on Let's Get Inventing, he bought one for his wife. We did one on her dad, who was, he went to Japan for the war. His story was amazing. And the best stories. And so I had 2 cameras, so you had 2 camera angles. and you film all these photos and made this 1 hour thing. And she broke down. It was for her 50th. And she was like, it's the most beautiful thing.
Oh, it's wonderful.
So there, I've pitched it. If anyone wants to take that idea, run with it and make it work, I'll be proud just to see that someone can pull it off, because I don't know how you sell it.
And do you have a copyright on the name, or can someone use
if you want to use
Memoirs of a
Memoirs of a Geezer, you use Memoirs of a Geezer.
It's yours. Free.
And I had Chris Stapp. Do you know Chris Stapp?
Oh, from Matt Heath's
Matt Heath
comedy
was on,
partner from
Chris
Deja
Stapp
Voodoo.
was a character on Let's Get Inventing and also an amazing artist. So he drew like the Facebook banner picture and everything that went on my flyer, like cartoon elderly people just standing there, but made them like one's got a breast lower than the other, like comical caricatures. And then I had, Memoirs of a Geezer, and that's what's gone in people's letterboxes. I'm like, yeah, you're a flippin' idiot, mate. I'm not
I suppose you had the ideas, but you just didn't have the sort of like maturity to.
Yeah,
I don't know.
100%. I'm still like that now. I have the ideas. I'm still not mature enough.
But so 2015, you're still working on John and Ben. You're a dad at this stage. You've got Alba. She's 4 months old.
Yep.
And then you do How to Hold a Baby. And you did this for Sam Smith, who won the Traders last year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sam Smith worked at John and Ben as a writer. He had a kid on the way. I've told the story many times. So if you get annoyed, just put up with it. And Alba is my second daughter. She's 4 months old.
Okay.
And it's a weekend. My wife has gone out and taken the youngest with her. And I'm just bored. Like, I'm playing with her, but just bored dad. Or come up with stupid ideas. Immature dad. Oh, I'll shoot a video for Sam. That'd be funny. Like, he's about to have a kid. He'll find it funny. And I happened to be in Stubbies and Bush shirt, which I wore on the weekend. And then I remember writing some ideas and keeping my laptop screen open. And it was How to Hold a Baby. And I just wrote down, like, Jesus hold. Double baby Jesus, over the chin, over the shoulder, all these silly things. Filmed it with her, all went fine, and I knew how to edit then, so I clipped it together, and I posted it to my YouTube channel, and then got the link and put it to Sam Smith's Facebook and said, hey bro, here you go bro, you'll enjoy this. And went to bed and woke up and it had gone everywhere with no plan whatsoever. There was no like, you know what? I'm going to sit down and make myself a viral video. But it just went like crazy. And back then, it was like 1 million views in a week, but that was huge back then.
And it's life-changing. Literally.
Literally.
This moment literally like changed the trajectory of your life.
Yep, 100%.
And it's completely accidental.
Completely accidental, and had 2 days of like, internet fame, celebrity status for 2 days. We had Paul Henry show. Like newspapers are calling you and asking what you do. And I remember I used to be me and Jodie went to London on OE many years ago, and I was a landscaper over there. And I remember Stuff called me, like the day after when it had gone big. Stuff, the newspaper, calls me and says, oh, and by the way, what do you do for work? And it was in that split second I was like, shit, if I say I work in TV, they probably won't run this. They'll think I've done a video for John and Ben or something.
That was genius.
So I was like, oh, I'm a landscaper. And then there were all these rumours over the next year. Like, I'd bump into people and they're like, you're a courier driver, eh, in Rotorua? I'm like, no, I'm not a courier driver. But I love that, what's the word, ambiguity? No one knew what I did or who I was. And here I am just pumping away, doing stuff at John and Ben. And like, I ended up being the floor manager for the live show in the studio. The guy that was like, it's coming to you, 3, 2, just because I'm loud. I was great at audience control. Oh, everyone shut up, here we come in 3, 2. And people would start to show up to the show and be like, once we had started, I was still working. Once I launched How to Dad, is that How to Dad? How to Dad? Oh my God, How to Dad? And it was getting awkward for me. I'm like, no, we're here for Jono and Ben. Look at Jono and Ben. But yeah, kicked it off and had my 2 days of going back, had my 2 days of celebrity fame. And then nothing. Like, that's how quick internet stuff happens. You have this huge video and then you're like, oh, that's it. And you're like, oh, that was fun.
Were some people annoyed when they found out you weren't a landscape gardener? It was a genius lie, by the way. I think you're dead right in that if you said you worked behind the scenes on it.
I was more, it wasn't a deep thought. Like I said, I still remember the phone call to this day. I was at the church, it's called The Church, the office at TV3. I was pinned open at the door and I just remember them saying, what do you do for work? And I just thought, if I say a video and what I do, they're going to think it's because back then at the same time on John and Ben and Wanna Ben, we used to try and film fake videos and like put them online. One time we did like a seagull pooping on a lady, because I think Stephen Colbert and that used to do it. They used to release a video, and like 6 months later it goes all around the world, and then they step forward and say, look, it was us, and they show the behind the scenes, and we made this for. So I had that quick thought in my head. I was like, no, I'm a landscaper. I've never had anyone come up to me and be like, bro, you lied to me.
Yeah,
I
feel cheated.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if you feel cheated. But
What about so the Paul Henry show appearance? Did they ask you to wear the costume, or was that
no? Again, that was just my own. Yeah, all
right?
these
That's
weird
another
things.
genius
These
thought.
only just brain fart ideas, but yeah, went in and thought, what do you wear to this? And I don't really have fancy clothes for TV anyway. And I think I just thought it'd be funny if I just committed to wearing the stubbies and bush shirt. That was only for that interview. And then we did nothing. So we had that 2 days of fame, and then it's like 6 months had passed. So this was 2015 that video came out. We had no plans of doing any more. When I say we, I mean me and my wife. We hadn't talked about, hey, let's make more of these videos. It was more people saying it to us and friends and family, being like, bro, that was crack up, bro. Like, you should do another one of those. And so, 2016, start of 2016, I made a Facebook page and a YouTube page, called them How to Dad. I remember Googling how to make a good YouTube page, and it said be consistent. So we committed to every weekend we'll shoot something and we'll post it at Monday at 7 o'clock on both platforms, which is the wrong way. If you got 2 platforms, apparently you're not meant to post. I don't know. I still don't know to this day.
Nobody knows.
I don't know.
Not
But
even
we
Mr.
did
Beast
that,
knows.
and we just started, man, and we never missed a Monday. Like, it would be like Sunday afternoon. I'd be like, shit, we haven't made up a how-to. And oh yeah, that's funny. Hey, and I didn't say to my I was filming it myself. We had a vacuum cleaner. My camera didn't have autofocus, and we had a vacuum cleaner where you put the stick in and it would stay upright. So I would set the camera up. I'd go and put the vacuum where I think I'd stand. Then I'd focus on the camera, on the vacuum, and then I'd go back to the vacuum, move the vacuum out of shot, and then we'd go, yeah, g'day, and welcome to this instructional video on whatever, and then we'd shoot the video.
And how many how-to videos do you think you end up doing in total?
Oh, I have no idea.
Fuck, like they
Like over 500 of how-to videos, I think. Maybe.
Oh my god,
Surely.
that's so much
What's
content.
every
eh?
week? It's made too much. There's so much. I'm sorry. There's so much of me out there.
No, you did so well with it. Like when you why did you decide to go with the How to Dad thing? Like after the first clip.
Oh, it's funny if you go back on your Facebook page now. Like, you can go into analytics and see what it was called or something. We started with This Is Dad. This is me and my wife. Like, what should we call it? Because I'd done the how to hold a baby video. So This Is Dad. So we named it This Is Dad. And then the next morning I woke up, I was like, that's bad. Let's call it How To Dad. And then everyone at John on Ben, because I told them I'd started this video, they're all going, but what is it though? Like, how to dad? Or are you how to dad? Are you the how to dad? Or is it how to? I was like, I don't know. You're thinking too much into it. It's just called how to. Maybe that helped with it. But we just thought, yeah, we'll call it How To Dad, and I'll do an instructional how-to video every week.
And at this point, you weren't thinking about money either. You were just doing it
we're just doing it for
the applause.
Anyone start. Well, when you think back to us having our 2 days of viral fame originally, it was fun. That was really cool. Like, that was kind of the stuff I went to study and wanted to be. I kind of wanted to be in the limelight when I thought I was going to be Neil Walker. So to be on Paul Holmes with my kid, I'm like, wow, this is cool. And then putting makeup on me and stuff, and you getting emails and you're getting phone calls. And so, yeah, we started very organically. Let's just do it for fun. Classic Facebook page asking every person that is a friend of you, please go and like my page. Constantly like, have you liked my page yet? And then Facebook does it for you. Have you liked How to Dad? It was like my mum was just the one liking things at the start. And then that was start of 2016. And then middle of 2016, we had an email come through from Destination Rotorua. They're like, we want to give you a family trip to Rotorua, and we're going to pay you $1,000 to make a video and put it on your How to Dad page. And the page had got, I don't know, maybe 20,000 followers on Facebook back then. Not a lot. And me and Jody, I remember like jumping around the lounge, like we had hit the lotto. We were like, holy shit, this is amazing. They want to pay us to go. And like, look, you don't need to say Rotorua. We just want you to have the visuals in the background. So I did a video, how to travel with a baby, and posted it. And we'd done a lot of videos before then. You never know which one's going to be good. And it went nuts, like absolutely nuts. To this day, that agency or Destination Rotorua got the best gig possible.
How many millions?
Million. Like, this got, over a month, it got over 20 million views on Facebook.
For their
And they paid
$1,000.
$1,000 and put us up in a hotel and got us a gondola ticket. But we were stoked. And then so that blew me up again. And then just in the same 2 weeks, we did the next weekend or 2 weeks after was how to put a baby to sleep. And that was a piss take that I thought was the worst video ever because my kid would never listen to me when I went to put her in her cot. She'd always jump around. And I said, shit, that'll be funny. And I'll go through all these different... And I walk in there to film it. And I'm like, g'day, this is how to put a baby to sleep. And she's... How old is she? She's probably just over a year. And I said sleep and she dropped and I laughed. And so she took on in her head, oh, Dad finds that funny. So here I am and I'm doing all these dads. I'm like, oh, the hypnotist dad. And I go, and sleep. And she just dropped. And so every time I'd say, or I'd look at her, she just kept dropping. And so off camera, I then crack up. Anyway, I edited it together and I said, I clearly remember saying to Jodie, this is going to be a flop. Like she didn't run around. She just kept falling asleep and listening like it's terrible. She's meant to run around, be an idiot. And you post it. And it's still to this day, that's how it works. The ones you think are shit blow up, and the ones you think are amazing flop. And this one was another 20 million. So in the space of a month, I had like 40 million views on Facebook. And the gates just opened from there. Like what it is your emails. Emails, when I say the gates, it's emails. It's people trying to reach out to you. And to this day, it's still the same gig. 99% of it is crap, is weird offers, is some Chinese wish.com company offering you 1 cent per 10,000 glow sticks you can sell using this link. Like just, it's a copy and paste email. That's my life of just receiving copy paste emails. And then now and then you'll get things like back then, Air New Zealand popped up into our email. We'd like to do a video with you and get you on a plane and shoot a how to fly with a baby. And we did a few gigs with them over the years. They took us to Singapore to promote that they fly to Singapore. Took my whole family to China. Like, that's just it went big real quick. And it was like, this is awesome. But at the same time I was working at John and Ben at the most draining, hard TV show you can work on, that everyone knew. Like at John and Ben, you either you survived or you were just holding on for dear life. And I'd get home and then be doing stuff till like midnight and then go to sleep, wake up, check emails again, check the videos, check the comment sections to see if anyone's trying to cancel me. Not that we used that word back then, but...
Oh, did you get a lot of parent shaming? Like, oh, you haven't asked your baby's consent?
Touch wood. Touch wood. It's the weirdest thing. You hear about people like having hate and comments and all this. I've gone 8 years now of doing this, and we have the nicest audience ever known to mankind on the entire internet. My overall thing on YouTube is 99.9%. That's when you do the thumbs up or thumbs down. Videos get 99.9% thumbs up. Like there'll be 6 that'll give it a thumbs down. The only time I've ever had ridicule badly is how to wash a baby in the sink. And this was way back in the day as well when I was still young and quite immature. It was like, this is how to wash a baby in the sink. Don't waste water. Next time you're washing the dishes, and she's in her little bathers at Togs, but it's chuck her in there with the dishes. And I remember on purpose, like, she was safe, but on purpose I had plates here and like there was a pair of scissors and a knife that I was washing. So it looks like I've just chucked her in with dangerous shit. And I'm like, look, scrubbing brush is great for her hair. And I gently do this. And it's cute stuff that we'd used to wash her in the sink or in the little bath outside anyway. And then there was some mums angry there. You can't wash your baby in the sink.
Yeah, but you're antagonising. You're poking
I'm taking the piss. Like all my videos are tongue in cheek. The great thing is, weirdly, there's a lot of Americans to this day that watch them and kind of don't get the humour. So sometimes they just think, oh, okay, is that actually how you do it?
Like an instruction
And
tutorial.
I'm like, whoa. I should put a disclaimer. Please understand that I'm taking the piss with 99% of these videos that you'll go back and look on. I'm taking the piss. It's tongue in cheek. It's trying to give you a laugh. But some people are like, they'll Google in a panic late at night, how to put a baby to sleep. Like my kid won't sleep. And then it's just this guy being like, the hypnotist. And then there'll be tired parents doing this, trying to hypnotise their kid.
Oh, that's amazing. Shit. Did you...
Shit, it's hot in here, Dom. You've set up some amazing set, mate. You got 3 cameras pointing at me. You got 2 lights. And I see you wafting yourself. You got a fan here.
No, but the fan...
Mate, at least bloody get an air conditioning unit.
The fan goes on a higher speed, but it starts to make it like a clicking noise, which is a bit off-putting. Are we? Can we power on through? Or are you?
Yeah, no, you're fine. No, you keep
like
that.
You're not wearing your green.
I want you to keep that. Don't edit that out. I'm just calling him out.
It's staying in. Did you because of the niche nature of what you were doing, like it was all how-to parenting stuff. Did you have to turn down any eye-watering or mouth-watering brand deals? Because you
Yeah,
couldn't.
back then I was real stubborn on. So this is 2016, 2017 was like a flood of everyone wanting to work with us, and that was a lot of work on figuring out who you wanted to do stuff with. And we had this gig from Australia, a hiking company with like a GPS unit for hiking. And I remember being real staunch on I couldn't produce any video that wasn't how-to. Like I'm the how-to guy, how-to dad, everything has to fall under a how-to. I go, sweet mate, then what's kind of argument emails? I'm like, but what's your title? What's the, like, what am I going to do with this GPS thing? I was like, I could maybe do like how not to lose the kid or something. And like, no, it has to be how to go hiking with the AC 360-42 GPS unit. And they were paying good money, like the best money would have been offered at that time. And we turned them down. And that's probably been, you see creators now accepting way too much stuff when you know they shouldn't be accepting that just for the dollar. And I think that was our best thing. When we started off, we were very staunch on that, and we declined quite a bit. And I think that helped with the longevity at the start there of How to Dad.
Yeah, and that's it's admirable too, because it is very, very hard to turn down these things.
But it's, I slip in there early on, because then I definitely gobbled up the HelloFresh money, and I annoyed everyone with HelloFresh for a year. So I apologise about that. But it's delicious. At the time, it was a delicious little gig.
Oh, God.
I got cash, I got food, but I had like kids running up to me on the street. Oh, wow, Mum, look, it's the HelloFresh guy. And that's the moment I knew, because they were like, Jordan, we want to pay you again to be the ambassador for the second year in a row. And my wife brings it up constantly now. Imagine if you'd just taken that gig. When finances and if they ever go up and down or looking a bit lower, she's like, imagine if you took that HelloFresh gig. And I was like, I have no regrets. I'm happy I didn't carry on. If it was Repco or Super Cheap Auto or Burnsco or these brands that I'm passionate about, and kids were like, oh, look, it's the Repco guy. I'd be like, shit, yeah, I'm the Repco guy. But at the time, I didn't want to go down. I'd worked too hard for too many years to then just be known as the HelloFresh dude.
Yeah, oh, good on you. And when did the decision come to leave your day job? That must have been terrifying.
I stayed at work a whole year longer than what I should have. And that was just me in my head going back and forth. 2 kids. You're like, how can I leave steady income, a weekly steady income, to then go to, hope we get an email coming through. So it was a year of freaking out, and then bit the bullet and did it. And yeah, it somehow has worked out.
Because was Jodie working, or was she staying at home with the
Jodie
kids?
was working. Jodie was the line producer on 7 Days. So we weirdly, we've been joined. We're like Siamese twins, stuck at the hip. We're working in the same building. She was just above John and Ben. So I'd see her at lunch breaks and whenever. Then we'd go home, be stuck together. We flatted together and we got together at film school. Now works from home. She's at home. I'm at home. We're just live and breathe in each other's pockets all day long. Love her though. Love you, babe. Love you.
And is she your do you have like filters you go through for your videos? Like is she like the final sort of checkpoint?
Yeah, 100%. She won't know what I'm doing. She won't know what I'm writing. She won't know what I'm shooting. But she'll see 99% of anything before it goes out. Or yeah, I'll annoy her. Now it almost becomes, she's like, "What do you want?" I'll be like, "Just quickly watch this," and she'll, "Oh, you can't do that." Oh, okay.
Does she say that very often? Are there many bad calls?
Nah, because it kind of clicked on earlier on when you started getting. So we got our Rotorua gig, right? Paid. Then Air New Zealand comes knocking, paid. And that was our first thing, like, holy shit. So I can be my own boss, do my own stuff, come up with my own comical videos and get paid for this. And that was when we started having the first discussions like, well, if this keeps going, you could have your own job. You're your own boss. And then it was early on, it's good that I did, that you click on that, hey, we're getting these big, well-known New Zealand family-friendly brands. Keep your stuff family-friendly. And so we've stuck to that. So I've never really done anything to push the boundaries. I'm not looking to push the boundaries. I'm not a shock jock. I didn't have to be a shock jock. So just continue doing, and that frame, just family-friendly stuff, and it's worked out.
Yeah, even without knowing what you're doing, there were so many pivotal moments where you made the right decision along the way, right?
Yeah, I know. And yeah, again,
like lying and saying you're a landscape gardener, wearing the clothes,
committing to the stick of Stubbies and Bush shirt, because people now, I didn't even realise that, but sticking to Stubbies and a Bush shirt, that just helped every week. If you're scrolling, you'd see the Stubbies and Bush, it'd be like, oh, that's that guy again. I didn't think that through, but isn't that great? It's like the Wiggles.
That is-
You know, kids scrolling would stop because they see the Wiggles colours.
Are you going to be like Angus Young from AC/DC though? Like he's in his 70s now and he's still got to wear the school uniform.
Oh yeah, oh bro, there's been some terrible times. Like some people be freaked out if they're watching this right now. I'm not in stubbies and bush shirt. One, I think I watched a few of your clips and saw that people looked quite hot in this room, like we both are now. I thought, I don't want to be there in a bush shirt, sweating away. And two, stubbies, I've learnt my lesson. I got to interview Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell years ago in LA, and I wore stubbies to it. And 90% of the interview topic was my tiny little shorts. It's all they wanted to talk about. So I've learnt that if you're in a podcast or a more serious chat, don't wear stubbies.
Longer shorts.
Longer shorts.
What was it? Were you interviewing them were you a cameraman or were you How to Dad?
I was How to Dad.
Oh, shit.
Oh, bro, we've had some... we got an email from, like, Fox. The first time we had crazy thing, the whole family got flown to New York because we got an email that Boss Baby 2 was coming out. And they said, we'd like to fly you and the family to New York, also pay you, also get you to walk the red carpet. You don't have to do any content. This is the content we want you to do. We're going back in the day now, 2007 maybe. We just want you to do a Facebook live stream. I was like, who watches Facebook live streams? I didn't even know that was a thing. Can you do a Facebook live stream from the red carpet? I'm like, okay, yep, we'll sign up to this gig. So we are stoked. Anything to do with travel, with to memory making travel stuff, we'll do. So we got flown to New York and we were there for like 5 days. And for 1 minute 30 of that, I live streamed from this red carpet. And you're pinching yourself at these opportunities that are coming through. Like,
It's incredible.
who signed this off? That's a terrible,
terrible
idea. Oh, it made like the New Zealand Herald and it made
okay.
some newspapers back here. All the cameras, because, I brought this up to tie in with the stubbies and bush shirt, is when I went there, it was 3 degrees. And I come out in jandals, stubbies and bush shirt. And I've got Nala, who's in this little Boss Baby suit. She's warm. And we hit this carpet. All the cameras are on these celebrities. And as soon as we came out, they had no idea who we were, but every camera's just going nuts. Because, like, why is this guy in underwear? Americans, right? They think I'm in my underwear. And a bush suit walking the red carpet.
Your quirkiness, sort of like a Steve Irwin sort of thing.
Yeah, it is. 100%. It's the Steve Irwin, wears the same thing. It's some slapstick where I haven't overthought it. I just thought this is funny to commit to. And I just kept committing to it. We got flown to Singapore and that's 38 degrees. And I'm trying to film content in a freaking fleece.
It's like almost as warm as this room.
Anyone that wears them will know that they are famous for wicking water and sweat away, right? Like it doesn't absorb. Like cotton, that will absorb the sweat. These things, you just feel like you are getting wet with a garden hose underneath. And I've gone to shoot stuff, man, and you take it off in public and between takes, and it's just like you can flick sweat off it because it doesn't. It's not the. If I could go back and reselect the uniform, I may have changed the bush shirt to maybe just a green. I would have changed it to a singlet, to be honest. I live in singlets.
Singlets are
Wear a
good.
singlet.
How what do you? Yeah, if it wasn't for that initial video that you.
Wait! I didn't tell the best part yet, Dom.
Oh.
Then I get an email from, hey, do you want to come and be an extra in the new movie Daddy's Home 2? We'll fly you to Boston for a week and you can come and be in the film set. That was the thing that happened. Got flown to Boston, met Mark Wahlberg, Will Ferrell, Mel Gibson, and John Lithgow, which is the dad from Third Rock from the Sun.
Was this after you did the junket interview?
This is after the junket.
So the junket interview was for Daddy's Home.
No, sorry. This was after New York. This was a few years later. This was just me on my own, no kids. Got flown to Boston, met all the famous celebrities, was on set for 12 hours. Then 6 months later when the movie came out, they then flew me again on my own to LA for a week to do the junket with them and to promote the movie that way. And if you watch the movie and pause it at a certain point, it's like my outer focus, like 12 hours, bro. You get there and you pinch yourself for the first few seconds and then the actors come out and you pinch yourself again, like, whoa. Then within 5 minutes, you're used to it. Like, they're just there. They're going to be bowling all day. We have to pretend we're bowling in the background. And then 12 hours of that, and you're just over it. Within 2 hours, you want to go home. Like, I get it now. I've done it. Unless you're a real film nerd buff. But I was like, me and they had other creators from around the world, like 6 of us. I was the Australasian guy, right? And we're all just going, bro, fucking hell. Can we go? Like, do you think we can go? So you're there for 12 hours and it looks like you're fully in the movie, and then the movie comes out and it's just this blurry shot of my sleeve in the background bowling, and I can't even say, kids, That's your dad. It could be anyone.
Why did they do that? Was it the hope that people with big followings are going to share it on their platforms, or?
Yeah, so part of it was, we'll fly you over, you'll make content out of it. So I did numerous like vlogs about me being in Boston and being on the film set, and it was just a series of content that you'll punch out. And yeah, they just chose some big creators from each. So there was it was this weird international superhero group. Aaron Kraskell, a lot of people know. I met him. He was the UK one. It was me from Australasia. There was an Indian guy. There was an American creator and 2 Spanish girls. And we were just dressed up and told to act American and bowl all day. And I got told I was bowling too long, so they gave me a fake bowling ball. And yeah, 12 hours, man.
That's amazing.
It was rough, but cool, but rough.
And you did a TED talk as well. That clip's got like 2.1 million views on YouTube. And did you get a trip to Amsterdam for something as well?
Yeah, man.
What was the Amsterdam trip?
Again, email. So this is the thing. I sift through emails, and sometimes there's golden nuggets. This was the email. Hi, we're from DEPT, D-E-P-T, an advertising agency in Amsterdam. We hold a festival every year, and we'd like you to be our keynote speaker. I've never done I had to Google what keynote meant. And I was like, I've never done any of them. I was like, I don't know. And they're like, yeah, we'll fly you to Amsterdam, business class, and you can come stay for 4 days. All right. So yeah, flew to Amsterdam. Phone called my wife. I was vlogging, and I'd been to Amsterdam when I was young on my OE. So you knew about the red light district. And I'm walking, because now it's a real tourist hotspot. It's weird. Back in my day, it was just excited Kentucky teenagers and 20-year-olds. Now it's like families are walking through the red light. It was a real weird vibe. And I get a video call from my partner, and I know the whole you can't film in there or take photos. And I think I'm on the outskirts, like I've crossed a little bridge. And I'm talking to my wife. And I'm like, what's that? And I look behind, and it's an angry, naked prostitute banging on glass at us. And like, I was like,
because you're not supposed
and I'm like,
to
babe, I'm definitely not in the red light. Yeah, you're not meant to be filming.
Oh, did she think you were doing that thing?
Yeah, she thought that I'm doing a classic. She thinks I'm doing a pretend I'm talking to someone, and I'm fully filming her. And it was awkward time.
Well, it's strange, eh? Because when you think of Amsterdam, you think of like the legal cannabis and the red light district, but the weed cafes, they're actually quite hard to find, and there's not many of them. The red light district's tiny. It's a tiny tiny
it's
little
more
area.
bikes.
There's so much more to Amsterdam.
I just love the bike. I got into the bike whole thing. And then I got told it's illegal to be on your phone. It's a law over there. You can't be on your phone and cycle at the same time. And I've got a huge Canon, like one of these, on a tripod, one hand riding my bike around, like, hello, I'm in Amsterdam.
Fuck, what a life. What a life.
It's just crazy opportunities. Yeah, crazy opportunities.
Well, if you hadn't had posted that first video just for shits and giggles with Sam Smith, what do you think you'd be doing now? Still something in TV? Maybe like an executive producer?
I'd probably still be... No, I'm probably not old enough. I'd still be in TV, either directing sketches or maybe producing. But, yeah, I think back to that now, going back into it, and you're like, oh, because I've done it, you're like, oh, it's so much work. They do amazing things, people that make TV shows. And I've got a lot of ideas, big ideas, guy. Heap of TV show ideas in my head. But just to find the time and the energy to pull trigger on them when you're like, I still need to make income to support our family. We've bought a house, we've got a mortgage. And so I kind of need to keep the How to Dad train going until it can get to a point where, look, back in the day, I thought $1 million meant, a million views. When that first video, How to Hold a Baby, had 1 million views, I was like, shit, I'm a millionaire. 1 million views on YouTube, you're a millionaire. That's how it works. And then the check comes through, it was $950. Like, this is a crock of shit. So it's much more work than everyone thinks. Although, unless you're a YouTuber that is making long form content and you have 1 million subscribers, you're fine. You're making really good bang. You're making great money. I'm not that. I make short little videos, so not a lot of ads can be put in them.
Oh, okay. Well, what would you? Because that's the AdSense thing. What would you make on an average month from that, or is that confidential?
Oh,
like a couple of grand.
My YouTube, goes up and down, but I think I did the maths, and over the lifetime of the channel divided by how many years I've been going, YouTube's paid me like 20 to 25K a year. So you can't live off that,
right?
Which is why I have my hands in so many little projects and pockets and trying to come up. So speak at things, you do branded gigs, you get some money from Facebook, you get some money from YouTube. You can have a video get 50 million views on Instagram though, there's no money. TikTok, there's no money. They don't monetize unless you're doing like live streams. So I get a bit, every month I get a bit from YouTube, bit from Facebook, and then I'll do branded content that's when you work with brands.
Right. Yeah, like Air New Zealand, who you were talking
when you work
about
with Air New
before,
Zealand or
Yeah.
whatever, and try to do it in my style and my funny way, so that I don't lose followers because they're rolling their eyes at, bro, why are you doing branded content, man? There's some people that just don't have that, or just say they're yes people. They just freak out and they're like, oh my God, a brand. Yeah, I'll just do whatever. And they've completely changed their style of video. They start reading a script and it feels like a TV commercial where we fight. And a lot of brands have hated working with me over the years because I just stick to my guns. And
Well, yeah, clearly. But it's nice when you get to the point that you can say no more than what you say yes. You know, if you're real desperate.
yeah, well, this is the year. I think everyone's feeling the pinch, us included. And definitely this is the year. And they say that advertising companies, as we hear, news channels are shutting down. It's quiet in New Zealand. And we're feeling that it's quiet now, like brands reaching out. So this is the year now where you're like, maybe we'll bend that rule a little bit. Hey, HelloFresh, you guys want to come back?
Oh, there he is.
Hey,
Okay. Oh, the recession got him back.
Do you want to cook a sweet couscous with a Mediterranean mayonnaise?
Yeah, so your recent content, it's quite funny, seeing the I don't know, the progression or the development or the evolution or whatever you want to call it. I really like it. And I wonder if part of it is maybe you running it out of like how-to dad ideas.
Yeah.
And as part of it, you just being more comfortable in your own skin and sort of dropping the front.
100%. It's a big mix of that. We never had a moment where me and Jodie, my wife, were like, let's stop putting the kids in them or anything like that. It's more been a natural progression of, one, I was stuck to my guns about it has to be how-to ideas. And once I dropped that like 3 years ago, I was like, man, my brain just went, look at all the shit I can do now. Like, this is way more fun. Instead of stressing that, no, it has to have how-to in it. What can I do? So now I'll have brain fart ideas that I shoot, and I'm like, are these, and they work, and they go big, and some go viral, and you're like, wow. We're back in 2016 if something went viral, the whole of New Zealand knew about it. Now
Make the news.
Now things go viral every single day. Like
Yeah.
hundreds of New Zealand creators right now have things going viral every week, and you don't hear about it.
Yeah.
Something will have 10 million views on TikTok right now, and we aren't even talking about it. We're back in 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019. Still a really big deal to have a video had a couple million views. Like, people knew. I'm like, oh shit. So I was lucky in a sense. Well, if you talk about trying to be a creator right now and get cut through and get brands to notice you, I was lucky back then because I was like the only, at that time, there weren't many of us who were well known. I became quite well known in that internet world quite fast. So brands were, I'd hate to be starting now. I don't know what I'd do, but yeah, enjoying doing stuff outside of the how-to realm.
Yeah.
The kids are getting older where it just gets to a point where now they're not a blob, they're not a baby that's just easy to hold in your arm and, oh, she's crying, all right, we'll leave her for a bit and do it in half an hour. It's, hey, I got a funny idea, do you want it? No, I'm actually going out after school and I don't want to be in that one. Oh yeah, oh cool. And so now we've just almost stopped. I don't write anything that has the kids in it anymore. Like, I think the one that they love to do is quick feeds, which is us cooking in the kitchen as a family. So I think that's the only thing. Or they'll have a tiny bit moment in some sketch where I need the back of a kid's head. But I also have an 11-year-old, which can blow people's minds. And I'm aware at her age, like what I was at 11. And we talked about this really early on. I said, I never want the kids to be in revolving videos that are coming out every Monday, that they go to school and straight away every kid's like, oh, I saw you in that video. Half of Mila's intermediate doesn't even know that she's How to Dad's daughter, which is perfect, which is fantastic.
Yeah, that's great. Do they like it though?
Yeah. Like now, like Mila's she's also at that age, social media age now, where she's aware that, oh, actually, is it cool? Like, I think some people think you're cool, so maybe I do want to be in your videos again.
I remember
I mentioned something recently. I was like, oh, we should do this. You know how we play yellow car? Like, let's do a yellow car where we see them on the street, and you end up knocking me out. Like, we're so committed to playing the yellow car punching game. And she's, oh yeah, I'll be in it. She's running at me. I was like, in my head, I just noted that. And I was like, look, she's keen as. That's quite cool. But again, we probably won't put her in because I don't want her getting that. Some parents are fine with that. Yes, we want our kid to be famous, schleb. We're not.
Yeah. Some of your recent content. So there's a smashed oven thing, which was like a series. So you're doing like a headstand or some dancing in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And the oven's in the background. Now, part of me, when I saw that, like, the oven definitely breaks.
Yeah.
But part of me thinks, okay, Jordan's doing this in a small space, because this could potentially happen, or something could break, and it wouldn't be the worst content in the world if that happened?
No, I love the rumors out there that it's a pre-planned. It's not at all. I was doing robot dancing. We dance a lot in the house. We're idiots. I sing and dance all the time. I was doing robot dancing, and Nala's like, "That's scary, Dad. That's scary." I'm like, "That ain't scary, yo." I'm going at it. "That ain't scary, yo. I still got it." Because I'm thinking back to like school discos where me and my brother would get like a certificate the next day at assembly because we had the best robot at disco. And so she's gone away, and only for my own vanity, that I'm filming myself robot dancing to be like, I'm pretty sure I still got it. And I'm trying to do this robot shit, and I get into it. I'm being an idiot. It's Beastie Boys. It's great. So I'm going to do my one-hand handstand. And I go to do my one-hand handstand, and my heel just clips the handle of the oven door and explodes. And no, that's not pre-planned at all. How do you do that? It hurt like hell, mate. I had a bruised heel.
No, not pre-planned, but the fact that you're like, well, I'm going to do this in a confined space. If something breaks,
Oh,
or
no,
I fuck
no,
myself
no,
up,
bro.
it
was our brand new kitchen.
Right,
It's
okay.
like, no, we just had the kitchen. That oven was 6 months delayed. We cooked on a barbecue 2 years ago outside the whole of winter because our oven had to come from flipping Europe or some. There was a deal with Westinghouse and something fell through, and the oven we just had an oven gap for 6 months, and we cooked on the barbecue all through winter. So
God.
I did not want to break
Okay,
that oven, bro,
okay.
100%. But instantly in my head, as soon as it happened, I'm like, that's great content. It's 100% going on the internet, and made a bit of a story arc out of it. And and that's some stuff that went big as well.
So good. Yeah, there's another one I was watching last night, and like an AI-generated poem to your wife. So you're sitting on the beach reading a poem, and then it's bloody brilliant stuff. When you do that, and I think this one's got like only 25,000 views or something. Are you disappointed with that? Are you scratching your head? You don't look at those figures too much?
No, I do. I think you're a bullshitter creator if you say you don't.
Yeah,
we all do. You love things to pop off and go nuts because everyone does in any work of life. You come up with a new idea at your work, and you pitch it and it does well and you're getting pats on the back, that feels great. You pitch your new idea and no one cares, or no one even replies to you in the meeting or the email chain, you don't feel great. So we love it when things pop off. And I'll put my heart and soul, or sometimes heart and soul, or just quick brain fart idea, and I've shot in 10 minutes and it's up on the internet 20 minutes later. Either way, I still want it to do well. And you'll get things that just don't at all, but you just keep... I still enjoyed making it, and you don't get... I've been doing it too long that you don't get too disheartened. You're not like, oh gosh, I have to change everything about me. Or I might have been back when I started and had things pop, like, shit, I've done...
So you're more relaxed about it.
Yeah,
now.
way more relaxed. Yeah. I'll have things often not go big, and then you'll have things that'll just blow up. Like today, repurposing old content, like I was saying. You got this whole back 9 years of content, and not even when people come to Instagram, right? They haven't seen all that old stuff from 2016, 2017. So a lot of my time now is repurposing and re-editing, taking those old blurry videos, trying to see if I can make them vertical, putting captions with them, shortening them to the length of a reel. And so I'll do like 2 or 3 old videos a week in a mix of new content over. That's my strategy at the moment on TikTok and Instagram. And it's working. Smart. And no one's going, oh, I like to think no one's going, oh, I've seen this. Because if it's from so long ago, most people are like, shit, they'll watch it. They're like, I remember this. I love this one. And I'm not getting any comments going, bro, can you stop posting old stuff? So I'm just going to keep on doing it. And it's growing the brand hugely. I'm getting this whole new audience, new engagement. And
Well, yeah, what else are you working on? You do lots of piss takes of wellness influencers. Feels like you're channeling Art Green.
Yeah, I feel bad because one day he commented, I was like, I'm 100% not channeling Art.
Oh, no.
I'm channeling all those...
Do you know Art? He's got a great sense of humour. I fucking love it.
I know Art. I know Art well. And it's more... There was a Snapchat filter that puts like a bearded, beautiful face on you, makes you slightly more chiseled, and it's kind of me, but a better looking version. And I did a video years ago about like my morning routine. It was just a piss take of all those Instagram people that love to share their morning routine and no one gives two shits. And so I did this video kind of taking the piss as a parent. I like to try and do that, and my kids kept ruining it. And it went huge. So then I just had the idea, man, I love this filter. And now I'm getting paid gigs. So if a brand comes through and wants to work with us, and maybe the idea is a bit too, I'm like, no, I don't want to talk about a blow dryer. I don't blow dry. Oh, hang on. My influencer friend will. And so we'll go back, and then they get in on the joke, and they're like, this is great. And they sign it off, and I'm getting paid now to be almost taking the piss as an influencer. Be like, hi, you know how I keep my hair so lush? And I've got this filter on. I put on this voice every day. I use the Revlon Blow Dryer 3000. So as a viewer, you're like, this brand's cool for letting How to Dad do this. And you're also chuckling along at the fact I'm taking the piss out of influencers. And that at the moment is working.
Oh,
I shouldn't have shared the secret, but it's working. And then we have the how-to stuff to work.
Yeah.
But
well, I suppose what the brands want is numbers, don't they?
Yeah.
So even if it's someone sort of taking the piss.
It's something fresh and new and it's working. And so that's cool. And yeah, I just keep on pumping out brain fart content ideas that come in my head and do them each week. We got the podcast and we got the Jandals.
Yeah, we'll get to... Okay, yeah, the Golden Jandals. So you're like a 20% stakeholder in the company?
Yes. Man, you've done some... I don't even know where you get that research from, Dom.
Yeah. Other podcasts you've been on and just read everything I could. So what I love about these Jandals is it's like... of course, like it makes perfect sense, but no one thought of it.
I know, that's our argument is how has no one ever done this? But then that's because they're all greedy, money-making, not caring about the Jandal brands.
Yeah, but the cost of doing it like a bigger plug is...
But the problem is they last longer.
Right.
So they want...
Okay.
That's the thing. They know. All these brands, I won't name them, the Brazilian ones, they know that their plug, pops off or that there gets a split and it doesn't last long. They 100% know that. But there's no one here in New Zealand fighting for them and going, yeah, let's sit down and change the design. We need to do something about that. And that was... So I got, hey, mate, have you got a business idea? And I'm like, yeah. A bloody Jandal that doesn't blow out. And we got in a little room talking like, why don't we put the bread tag on the bottom? And that's all. And we're all just.
Do you want to, hold it up to the camera for the people that are watching this, not listening.
So that's a classic New Zealand fix, is to clip a bread tag on.
Yeah.
And so
it looks like a bread.
Yeah, we made the whole thing big in bread tag shape. It's shape science. A giant square can't pull through the hole. So we go out on the street and we got, here's $100, mate, if you can pull that out. And we got these big guys trying to pop it out and you can't pull it out.
I was going to ask you about those, because you have done so much great
you
content.
What, you don't believe those videos as well?
Well, I thought there must be a lot of offcuts where...
No, there's no offcuts.
Really?
I'd give you this one right now, but I'm also... Because what happens is it'll stretch. But no, I'm going to do it now, John.
Okay.
I can limp home.
Okay.
Pull that out of there. No, pull.
No, I'm giving you like a...
No, go.
Oh, you want me to give it a...
Go. So do you think it's fake?
No, it's not coming out. Does it? But
All you've done is stretch that a bit.
yeah, but if someone's really strong,
No
will that
one's
end,
ever gonna
will,
put that
will
much
this,
load
will
on
the
it.
shaft bit end up snapping?
No, mate,
No.
you can't. You don't have the muscle. So
Now my fingers smell like your
you
feet.
said it. Yeah, I've got terrible athlete's foot. Sorry, mate.
So has that been quite lucrative?
No, not at all.
No.
I'm learning, again, I'm not a mature businessman, and I'm learning that businesses, any money that you make gets poured back in. Oh, so we need to do a bigger order because we want to go into Australia now, so we need stock for Australia. Yeah. Oh, and this year we want to go into America, so all the money we made now is getting more stock to go into America or tweaking the design. So it's one of those things that one day we'll sell it and then we'll clip the ticket. But right now we're still very much a new brand and
Startup.
still trying to grow. Yeah, definitely a startup.
But it's given you like an... I don't know. I was going to say it's given you like an outlet to do some more content, but I feel like whatever you're doing, you'll just figure a way to do content around it.
Yeah, I do content for Golden, and it's given
done
me
heaps, including an unofficial world record for 100-meter sprint.
Oh yeah, I was meant to come in here with my running stats for your OG listeners from back in your running days. I ran my first half marathon a few years ago, hour 45, Mount Maunganui.
That's good, 5-minute K
For
pace.
a 104 kilogram guy. Got the world record for fastest that's 100 meters in 13.66,
6.6, I think it was. Was it? No.
No, and then I bet it again, 13.3 or 13.4.
Wait, because the first one it was a false start. You only ran 80 meters, not 100.
In Jandals.
Yeah.
And I heard Nick Gill talking about bronco tests. After listening to the podcast, this is how I remind myself of videos. I email myself ideas constantly. So as I was listening to that one, I've emailed myself bronco test. Because I'm like, I think I can take some of these records from these All Blacks. I did in Jandals a 5-minute 30 in Jandals bronco test. That beats some All Blacks. Some All Blacks don't hit 5 minutes 30.
Yeah, and 13 minutes for 100 meters is not a shabby time
30
either.
seconds, mate. 13 minutes. That's terrible.
But the 13 seconds. Yeah, beg your pardon.
Yeah,
13 seconds for 100 meters. It's not a bad time.
Yeah, in Jandals. So, world's fastest Jandal, mate. Golden.
You mentioned the All Blacks. Yeah, what was the work you did with Kieran Reid? You did a thing with him.
Oh, that wasn't really official work. That was just me Instagramming him and being like, hey, bro, I did a mini series called How to Sport, just off my own ideas. and we filmed with Sophie Pascoe, Dame Valerie Adams, Kieran Reid was one of them, and he had just had spinal surgery. This is going back a few years, and he's like, yeah, don't ask the Crusaders, don't ask the All Blacks, just come down and we'll shoot it. And so I need him to tackle me hard though, and it kept looking real soft. I was like, can you please tackle me harder, man? And he went hard, and I felt it, and then I just so imagine if I'm the guy that puts his new fused spine out. But that was awesome. I'd never met him. He just knew me from social media, said, yeah, come down. And then afterwards, he's like, what are you up to, bro? I was like, I've got to go to the plane. It takes off in a few hours. He's like, oh, should we go to Burger Fuel first? I was like, oh, he's acting real cool. Oh, yeah, man. And then I'm just in Burger. He's paying for my thing. And I'm like, holy shit, I'm having lunch with the All Blacks captain.
He's amazing. He was one of the early guests
really
on the
cool
podcast. I love that guy so much. And he's 100 and whatever tests he's played, like, and one of the most capped All Black captains of all time. And he's just the nicest guy you could ever meet.
He's a legend.
That's so cool. Oh, and was he in the Black Clash when you played cricket? No.
Was he in the Black? I don't think he was in it that year, but he wasn't in that year. I became mates with Brad Weber there and met a few of those other famous faces. That was again another pinch yourself thing. I replied back initially, Black Clash, for no one that knows, is a celebrity cricket game, and I get an email, hi Jordan, would love you to play in the Black Clash. And I wrote back, I've never played cricket in my life. Ask someone else. And they're like, no, you'll be fine. It'll be funny. I was like, all right. And I remember I did one day of trying to bowl at Papamore College, thinking I was doing good, thinking I was doing okay. And then you go to this training day. The day before the event, we all go and do lawn bowls and meet each other and have a few beers. And then you hit the nets the next day. And Stephen Fleming comes up to me and goes, he sees me bowl. Have you got a dodgy shoulder? It's like, no, mate, my shoulder's bloody great. He's like, well, see, when your arm comes over, you should be rubbing your ear. And he's like, can you do that? And my shoulder couldn't really. Like, you look like Mullaritha or the guys that do the crazy bowls out to the side. You need to work on that. So here I am now, like, nervous. Here I am just for a laugh, but now I'm nervous as shit.
Because they're really competitive, eh?
Oh, especially the rugby boys. The cricket guys love it, but much more relaxed. The rugby lads come and they are turned on. So we go out to lawn bowls. We have a few too many beers. And the next day is the cricket morning. It's the session in the nets at 11 a.m. 11 out of 12 rugby stars for the rugby team showed up to the net session. 3 cricketers showed up. They're all a bit just chill. Oh, we had a few beers, we'll chill out. So I was one of them, and then that's where I met Fleming. Nathan McCullum was there, and they're trying to teach me how to bowl. And then I get out there the night to play. I'm just shitting myself, man. Like fielding, I don't know where to be, and I'm going to get killed, man. If one of these balls comes at me, then I had to bowl one over. So I took the piss and went all the way back to the boundary line for a big run up. I was like, this will be funny. Do one, and he only got one off it. And I was like, I'll bowl proper now. But the thing is, I'd never bowled with an umpire standing there. And I couldn't see, if you've never played cricket in your life, it's really hard to figure out where the line is. So I'm just freaking out that my foot's going to go over. So if you watch the footage, I'm bowling from like 2 meters back from where I should be. And I get hit for like a 6 and a 6. And then Jimmy Neesham tries to say I bowled a wide, the umpire. So I start trying to fight him for a bit of a laugh. But out of it, though, I got hit for 19. The worst of the night, some guy got hit for 26. So I'm like, I didn't do too bad.
You're not the worst. I would have been shitting myself.
Like, I was shitting myself.
Like the potential for humiliation.
I was also more scared of injury. Like I'm what's called in the slips. So I'm right behind where the fast bowler is.
You're next to the wicket keeper.
Because Fleming goes, don't worry, son, come with me. I'll look after you. He's like, come stand there. And I look at him and I'm like shaking my head. Like, you're taking the piss, eh? I think this is one of the most dangerous places to be. I don't have the reaction speed. If a ball came at me off this nick of a bat, I was going to be dead, bro. But it was awesome. I wore stubbies. Duco asked me so many times to please not play in your stubbies. I played in stubbies just to keep a little bit of the brand there. And then went and had a bit of a few drinks in the changing rooms with everyone. And what goes in there stays in there, mate. It was a great night. Yeah,
good on you for saying yes to that. It would have been easier to say no, but you'd miss out on a fantastic opportunity.
Well, I have this weird confidence where, no lie, I've emailed myself Bronco test because for some reason in my head I think I can beat Bowden Barrett.
Isn't he like the best ever at the Bronco test?
4 minutes 13.
Yeah.
I'm like, I think I can do it. Because in his head, he's like, I can't get injured and I can't go too nuts because I've got a whole day of training this week. I don't have that. I put it all on the line for glory to be able to say, I bet Bowden Barrett. I have the New Zealand record for the Bronco test.
That would be amazing.
Imagine.
That'd be so cool.
So there'll be a few videos coming out of that. No one cares, right? This is the stupid content. So this is stuff that excites me. No one's going to care. People don't even know what that is. But I'll film it, I'll post it, and I'll love it.
Yeah. Well, I suppose, that's got to matter to a point, doesn't it? You've got to be passionate about it yourself.
Yeah.
What about KidsCan? You did a massive fundraiser for KidsCan earlier this year, but you've been an ambassador for 7 years. How did that relationship come about?
I was already doing stuff for them a little bit, just posts here and there, but at the same time for lots of charities. And then you kind of realize that this doesn't work. I can't be begging my audience to help this charity and then the next week be saying, oh, and please help this charity and this, please help this charity. So I was like, KidsCan's the one that kind of means the most to me as a dad with kids and growing up in a poorer kind of town, Te Kauwhata, not that well off. And signed it. I said, hey, can I be an ambassador? Can I be your ambassador? They're like, no, you can be an ambassador. I was like, yeah, all good. So at the time they had like Mike McRoberts on the books and some other bigger, I was just nothing. And just started to do content for them whenever they had a campaign, like a winter appeal, or they just flick me an email and would work on some ideas and you get it out. And it was just years of getting annoyed that you couldn't reach through the computer and slap people in the face and be like, you realise this is in New Zealand, 1 in 4 kids is struggling with nothing. And so I had the idea for a long time about trying to do something bigger and like get a radio station on board, and that's where that handball competition came
Yeah, so you did like a 24-hour handball thing with John on Ben. At the Hits.
Full circle.
And it's full circle. It's amazing. And you raised
Is this my water?
Yeah.
Shit,
you raised like 435k.
$500,000.
Yeah, which is incredible. It's really cool. And you auctioned off your YouTube plaque as well.
Auctioned off my YouTube plaque, which I've just been informed by KidsCan that the person that said they were going to buy it has fallen through and not paid. So they're like, we're going to post it back to you. So, okay.
So we
got it for another time to auction off.
Because what other YouTube plaques have you got? Do you get like a 100,000 one?
You get a 100,000 and you get a silver 100,000 one, and then you get a gold 1 million one. Which again, back in 2017, to get the 1 million gold one was huge. Now it feels like everyone's getting them. I'm not saying all New Zealand creators. A lot of people aren't even on the YouTube game.
Yeah.
But anyone that plugs into the fact that if you just start posting all your TikToks to Shorts, you'll make no money because Shorts doesn't pay anything. Like I said before, 1 million views, right, might get me $1,000. I could get 10 million views on a short, which is a vertical video. It'll pay me $1. Like for some reason, YouTube hasn't figured out how to monetize Shorts properly.
Yeah.
That's seriously what it pays. You get 10 million views and you get paid $1, $2.
It's outrageous.
That's nuts. And they're playing ads. There's ads playing for your video. I don't get
Who's getting the money? Just YouTube?
Yeah.
Wow. And what's the future going to bring? You're just going to keep doing this? Just keep... Are you like a goal setter or a planner, or you just sort of follow where things go?
Very much follow where things go.
Yeah.
Not too much.
It's served you right so far.
The biggest, scariest thing we have planned, like you said, I did that TED Talk, which again, very out of my depth, and just said yes to it. But didn't enjoy the process. I used to be good at speeches, and now I think you got so many eyes on you and quite self-aware of how you are presented and that, and I've just thrown into something I wasn't comfortable with. Did it, but internally, did this, people wouldn't even know, but if you watch it, but I'm just freaking out inside. I'm screaming. Like, I am just hating it. Like, people can see your heart. People can see your heart beating through your chest. I remember thinking I was having a heart attack as I did that TED Talk. I'm not even, like, the auditorium wasn't even that big, but I was just fully, because you just understand how big a TED Talk is. It was a TEDx Talk, which is the next tier down. But again, my immaturity showed through with that. Like, I didn't do a deep and meaningful TEDx talk that you meant to do. I kind of just talked about what we've talked about, but in my journey and how I've winged it. And you get a few comments in that TEDx thing exactly that. Like, what did that guy teach us? But I talk about that. Like, people say, why don't you get into keynotes and all that? And I'm figuring that out right now, because I talked to the Between Two Bears guys and like, mate, your story is incredible. And I don't see that. And I started writing one, and my kind of opening line was, look, I'm not a sports person. I haven't faced massive adversity. Like, I haven't gone through domestic violence. There's nothing like this, right? I'm an internet guy who's done this. And to be honest, you've also slightly got to have your head up your own ass if you want to be one of us keynote speakers. So you could say, I'm just a head up your own ass internet guy. Here's my chat, and then give it. But that's my thing. I'm uncomfortable with putting my hand up to be like, yeah, I'll be your speaker. Because I'm like, what's my story? It's kind of how
I don't know. I feel like that's a sort of small town. When you come from a small town,
I think it is. It's really drilled.
There's
in
always going to be someone that's going to pull you down.
Yeah,
and tell you you're going to do
and
big
my
things.
own family are like that. Like, I'm surrounded by that. So it's something I haven't matured out of, or I need to get more comfortable in my own skin about that, about your success. Like, I don't like talking about, here I am, you've just heard me go on about success for an hour, but I don't lean to it and be like, you can all learn something from me in my story. I don't feel that at all. I feel like I'm a really lucky guy who's made some lucky decisions and I'm making it work. I do not have a blue book, a Bible, a manual I could give someone and be like, you can go be successful now. I'm very lucky.
Yeah, although it's like the luck, hard work axis as well. It's like you've worked fucking hard. There have been some lucky breaks along the way, but also a lot of hard work and a lot of grinding. Yeah. And we've also, like you say, what's the only future plan we've got is, it's always been in my back pocket, and it's kind of just pulling the Band-Aid off and do it, because they say if it doesn't make you nervous, you don't have enough skin in the game. So we want to do a tour at some point, like a How to Dad live tour, like a comedy tour, and go, because it'll be bigger in other countries than what it is here. Everyone's used to me now here, but if I showed up to America and did a small tour in just a state, there'd be enough whiz. Like, what? You mean that Kiwi guy's here? So that's a plan. It's in the long-term plan of, I've started writing a 1 hour show.
Fuck, that's amazing. That's so cool. And on top of that, you've got, from an outsider's perspective, it seems like, your private life's going really well. Like you've got this girl that you met in Polytech at 18, and you're still together now, 3 kids.
Yeah, we figured out we've been together over half our lives now. And we're still, that's all good. Yep, 3 kids. I'm like any other parent though, just pulling your hair out, or happy times and yelling and freaking out and figuring it out.
Yeah. Is she proud of you? It's quite funny because you marry someone and you never know how they're going to change, or the person if they're going to grow into the person they can be, or if they're just going to sort of stay the same. But like, what's happened to you is a twist and turn that neither of you could have expected.
She's awesome. She's definitely the cheesy line but she's the rock. She's the glue that keeps the whole house together, because I can be very all over the place depending on what's going on, freaking out because I'm, kind of the breadwinner. And if something falls over, I'm like straight to freak out a little bit, like, shit, what do we do here? What do we do there? But she's always the one like, no, we're all good. You're good. We're good. Day to day can be eye rolls when you're trying to film something idiotic or show her an idiotic video. We'll be like, what do you think about this idiotic? But if you ask her deep down, she's stoked on how it's all gone.
Yeah. And what about you? Proud of yourself?
Yes, Dom. I'm not comfortable with those kind of questions.
No, it's funny. I think it's a Kiwi thing. It's like we don't allow ourselves to.
I think some people are fine with that stuff. But no, you'd have to be. Yep. Kiwi boyfriend to go for has over 5 million followers and has made it into a full-time job. There's your headline.
Yeah.
And I am proud.
You're there. He said it with very little sincerity. No, but you're. What about your dad? Like eel farmer from a rural town.
If I sat Dad down. And we crack up about this, just the era and the generation he's from. But if I sat Dad down right now, real seriously, and just said, Dad, I've done all this. Can you say you're proud of me? He'd be like, proud of you. That'd be it. Yeah, proud. Yes, suppose so. Yep. Yeah, you done all right. Like, that's Dad. Mm-hmm. And you can kind of laugh about it. But that's probably also part of me not having that very confident person when you see me, but behind the scenes, not having that confidence. Like, if I had growing up, if everyone around me was like, fuck yeah, go for it, I would have done sold out comedy shows should have been doing them in 2016, 2017 when I first come out. Like, that could have been the real big thing. But they scare the shit out of me, and I don't think I'm going to be good at them. And that's getting through that now.
Yeah, I do think that's a small town New Zealand thing. You just don't allow yourself to think as big as what you possibly could.
We're Americans. Every single American, no matter where you're from, they constantly think like that. They are the best people at whatever they do in the world, and they go for it. And that's why we get freaked out when they come over here. And they're so in our face and loud and proud and confident, because we're not that.
Yeah, we're not good at like backing ourselves or pitching ourselves, eh?
No.
I don't know. Hey, but this has been so much fun today.
So much fun. Sweaty, but so much fun.
Sweaty. Lucky you're not wearing the green.
It's really fun. And one of my eyes is looking at your phone, which has the time up constantly. I'm like, if I get out now, I'll just beat the afternoon Auckland traffic.
All right, we'll get you on the road. Yeah, it's 20 to 2 on a Thursday afternoon.
On a Thursday. Should be all right. I think 2 o'clock it started to show it was going to jam up, so we should be all right.
Yeah. Hey, mate, I'm so pleased we finally made this happen. I'm so pleased everything's going well for you. Anyone that's still watching or listening, get into Golden Jandals.
Golden Jandals, mate. Here's golden.com, or listen to the other podcast, The Parenting Hangover.
Parenting Hangover. It's bloody great. You guys do a fantastic job. It's a
Hey,
good
cheers,
partnership,
man.
yourself and Clint Roberts.
And I will send you my NFT account and you can transfer the payment for this podcast, mate. What was it we agreed on? 10 grand and 10 Bitcoin?
That's it. I'll give you a share of the YouTube revenue, the AdSense money.
Oh, no, you save it, mate. You get yourself an aircon pump. Jesus.
Jordan Watson, how to dad. Thanks, mate.
Cheers, bro.